Hello, namaste, and welcome to this episode of Nepal and Beyond from Radio Nepal. This is me, Dela Prasai. So, in this episode, we will be talking about the global access of clean drinking water, safe drinking water, and especially the access of safe drinking water among the Nepali people. So, to talk about the scenario and to talk about the ways to improve the quality of water today, we have the founder of Global Access 2030, Mr. Roger Cabbage, with us. Hello, sir. Namaste, and welcome to Nepal and Beyond from Radio Nepal.
Thank you. Namaste. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, sir. So, sir, before we begin, could you please elaborate us about what Global Access 2030 is, its concept, background, and its objectives?
About 15 years ago or more, with a group called Global Health Initiatives, and we started going out into the villages in sub-Saharan Africa in several countries, and we started in Rwanda and Uganda, and then Nepal, and then Peru in the Amazon rainforest. And I noticed that there was a need for safe drinking water. So I, I named the organization Global Access 2030 to provide access to safe drinking water to those around the globe who do not have it. And it's a public charity, a nonprofit from Colorado in the USA, providing access where needed to safe drinking water.
So, sir, what has inspired you and your team to invent this project?
Well, while working in the remote villages in several countries, I noticed everywhere I go there's sick children. They lined up for our clinics, and I asked some doctors what's wrong with all of these children. They're lined up here and they're very sick. Their stomachs were hurting and bloated, and some were dehydrated and they had dysentery. And the doctors told me that it's because they're drinking contaminated water. They don't have safe drinking water, and they don't boil it. They don't have propane or electricity, so they have to burn sticks to heat the water, and they don't boil it long enough or properly, so they do get bacteria and parasites. So I thought, well, we need to fix that if we can, and decrease the death rate of these children, because in doing some research, I found out that the World Health Organization said that every single day, globally, 1,000 children under the age of 6 die. Every day. 1,000 died yesterday, 1,000 today, 1,000 tomorrow, just from drinking contaminated water. So I said, okay, let's try to figure this out. But I knew when I did that, I had to come up with something that was radically more affordable than anything on the market. And it had to be effective in eliminating all the bacteria and parasites. And it had to be easy to use, maintain, and clean. So I worked with a group of engineers, and we came up with this product. And we tested it, we iterated several times and innovated several times over the years. And I wanted to make it so simple and eliminate all the plastic off of it too, so it wouldn't be so harmful to the environment later on if it got into the rivers or streams or oceans. So I came up with a very, very simple device that it's a hollow fiber filter that's a zero point 0.1 micron pore size, that the water can go through the filter, but the parasites and the bacteria cannot. So we physically keep them out. And it's a 2-bucket in the home point of use system. So every home should have one. And they can now. We donate them all over the world. We're in 10 countries right now. So I like to go, and as part of each implementation, I train them personally or with my team of how to assemble them, how to use them, how to clean them, and how to maintain them. And it's a whole educational process. We don't just drop off product and then leave and never come back. We always come back to validate, to collect data. I want to collect human data and filter data. Are they staying healthy? How many times did you get sick last month? Now, after using a filter, how many times are you getting sick? Also, how's the filter working? How many liters a day of water are you drinking? Um, how many liters a day do you filter? So I like to collect a lot of data. A lot of people just seem like or organizations drop things off and don't go back. And I don't say that to disparage anyone because they're doing a great job, they're doing a great thing. But I go back to these villages sometimes and and they say that something broke down that somebody brought and nobody came back to fix it. So I said it's very important to validate and to come back. So every 4 months, 6 months, a year, you have to go back and make sure everything's still working properly and the people are staying healthy.
Can you please tell us that as you have been traveling across remote villages in Nepal, so how you and your team have assessed the quality of safe and clean drinking water in Nepal?
Yes, well, as I travel through Nepal and all over the world in the sort of developing areas, developing nations, what I see everywhere is people using bottled water, people not using the tap water. They tell me don't drink the water, out of the tap. Only drink the bottled water. And I noticed that I assessed that the villages, the remote villages, can't afford to buy bottled water, obviously. And I see the need almost everywhere I go, that they need safe drinking water to stay healthy.
Okay.
And I see the problem of not having electricity or propane and trying to burn sticks and wood. Some are getting upper respiratory problems because they're breathing the smoke if they build a fire in the house. Others aren't boiling it properly long enough to really eliminate the bacteria and parasites. And the children are still getting sick, especially the children, and some of the older folks too. So I've assessed that there's a need, and the reports from the World Health Organization again tells me that there's over 2 billion people in the world that do not have access to safe drinking water.
So, is the technology that is being used to invent this product is climate friendly and also affordable to the vulnerable and minor communities?
Oh yes, I had to have something so simple. That was the key. Easy to assemble, easy to use, easy to clean, and radically more affordable than anything in the world. Even though we're donating them, I still have to raise funds. So I speak to many, many organizations and I show them the slides of where I've been. And I get testimonials and I show them what's going on in the world where I go. I show them the children and the adults and how thankful they are after I present them with a filter in through their home. And they put it in their home and they take good care of it. And I always have someone on the ground in that village communicate with me. If there's any problems at all, I want to know about it. What's happening? Is it, whether it's good or bad, I have to know so I can take care of any situation with these filters. But I was inspired by seeing the need and worked with many, many engineers, many, many physicians to come up with this product that we have at this time.
So, as you said that you have the target to improve the quality of drinking water and to increase access of safe drinking water worldwide till 2030. So, what sorts of challenges that you have come across while doing this project?
Right, there's many, many challenges always, but I think the major challenges would be just distribution. Getting the product was very difficult, a lot of hurdles, but we crossed those hurdles and obstacles. And now, getting the distribution, that last mile, that last 5 miles, that last 20 miles, it's hard, very hard to get it out there where it needs to be. So I depend on people in the villages to come when I come, they come into the village, but I really depend on some leaders in each village to actually get that last 20 miles. It's hard and takes hours to get there, or that last 5 miles. But I think distribution, and another thing would be a big challenge would be funding. Funding is constant. It's every day. I have to raise funds because I've got that much need. I could get 100,000 filters out there tomorrow if I had funding. And to get it all out there, I've got volunteers that would help me deliver these, but I have to have funding to purchase what I need with the parts and the filters.
You have just come here traveling some places of Cabriolancho district. So, what sorts of responses you get there?
After we do an implementation in a village, the people are so thankful. They come up and they want to make lunch or make dinner or give us tea and coffee, and they hug and they want to dance and they want to sing and they want to thank us and present what they have. Not money, but a gift. They're just incredible people everywhere I go, and they're so thankful to get this to keep them healthy, and to see that I've come from America, the USA, all the way the country where I'm at to help them. And they say thank you, thank you, thank you.
How much climate change is affecting the lives of the people, and especially how much it is degrading the quality of safe drinking water, especially in the poor and developing countries?
But the climate change, the water tables are falling. Obviously, the wells are going dry, so the wells don't work. I talk to a lot of engineers with Engineers Without Borders, and they tell me what the percentages of inoperable wells are in sub-Saharan Africa or anywhere else in the world that they work after the first year. It's unbelievable. It costs a lot of money to drill a well, and for them to be inoperable after the first year is incredible, after spending that kind of money. So climate change has changed that, and the water tables sometimes have dropped. Other things, maybe they're getting more rain certain times of the year and have to collect rainwater off of the roof. So they collect it in big tanks, maybe 500 gallons, maybe 1,000 gallons. Different parts of the world are different, but they collect the rainwater when it does rain, and then it gets contaminated too. But they're getting less rain now. It's drier now for several parts of the world. So I think that's one thing with climate change. Another thing that I try to protect the environment is by stripping all of the unnecessary plastic off of the device we've come up with, so it won't end up in the rivers.
Nepal is very rich in natural resources and especially water resources. So, what sorts of potential that Nepal can come up with this project or with this equipment?
With this equipment, I would love to see Nepal actually manufacture, some of the parts that go into this device. Some of the, maybe do some of the plastic injection molding, or come up with some of the hoses, and obviously come up with all the buckets, and even the drill bits, and a few things like that would be good. That it's a very simple device, but there's still some things that the people in Nepal could help with.
Sir, I again want to add that we have lots of water resources and reservoirs also. So, can we use that technology in big tanks and reservoirs also, so that we can even supply water to the country where there is scarcity of water?
Right. Could Nepal provide water to other countries?
Yes, we have like a lot of water resources.
Right.
So with this technology, we can produce more clean drinking water and can supply that water to the country that is facing the shortage of water. Actually,
Oh, I think that
is
would
that
be
possible?
fantastic. I would love to see that happen. And because the need is so great. I mean, it's unbelievable. So if Nepal and you could come up with a way to supply clean, fresh, safe drinking water to other countries, that would be incredible.
So, thank you so much, sir, for giving us your valuable time and providing us a very insightful information regarding the access to safe and clean drinking water, which is very, very, very important in today's context.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it and hope to see you many times in the future.
It's our pleasure.